Today we're hearing from a bunch of companies, startups from Seattle with the TechStars program, and Cabin Fever Toys is one of those. But Cabin Fever Toys isn't ready to ship a product yet. They're very early stage, and we're going to hear about their plans for taking over the toy world in 2011. Who are you?
My name is Adam Tratt. I'm the founder and CEO of Cabin Fever Toys, and we are working on toys and technology to get kids to play more actively outdoors.
Okay. You're a different kind of company than I usually interview, because usually the people I'm interviewing are just about to ship or just about to go out to the marketplace.
Right.
You're not ready for the marketplace, right? You're just in the idea world, coming up with a prototype and getting funding, and I wanted to talk to somebody who was going through that stage of company life and see what it's like.
Yeah, it's an exciting time, but you're right, I'm selling the dream. I've been working on a product concept, I've got a provisional patent on it, and I've been crafting the pitch, and now I'm in pitch mode. I'm talking to anybody who will listen that cares deeply about the health of kids and getting kids to play in new, better ways. From
your point of view, because you worked at Microsoft, you were an executive there, and now are starting a company. What's the benefit of TechStars?
So for me, the number one thing about TechStars was the cadence of feedback. It was the steady flow of investors and other entrepreneurs and executives that were constantly coming in, listening to my pitch, poking holes in the strategy and helping me craft a better story. Yeah. And that, I mean, that's priceless. Even as someone with perhaps a little more experience than the other folks in the program, just being able to get steady, constant feedback over the course of 3 months. You know, it probably would have taken me a year to get the amount of feedback that I got in just the 3 months of TechStars.
So what is the product? What's the idea that you're trying to get the world to see?
So I'm working on a toy called Zoomigos. It's a virtual pet, and you can think of it as the technology of Nike Plus with the fun gameplay of a Wii inside a lovable stuffed animal like a Webkinz. Okay. And the notion is the play dynamic is really simple and super fun. The child takes the toy out into the world. It looks like a little dog, and the dog's going to engage them in familiar games like chase the cat or find the bone. And as the child plays, they're going to earn points, level up, and win rewards, just like in a video game, except it's not tethered to a screen. It's something they can hold in their hand, wear on a backpack or on their wrist.
Okay. Knowing investors, I bet you're getting some resistance from some investors at least, because it's a manufactured good, and I know most of the investors who look at TechStars or Y Combinator kinds of companies, they want to invest in web companies, right? Because there's no goods to manufacture, there's no costs involved in that, right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, you just answered your question. The reality is, let me rephrase that.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is that a lot of the tech community, the folks that are involved in TechStars are, you know, they're software folks, and they're more comfortable investing in software companies for sure. That said, you know, my first investor came right up to me after demo day and said he wanted to participate in the round, and I'm getting a ton of interest from folks that, you know, they don't normally invest in a company like mine, but they're parents, and they understand that, you know, hey, 1 in 3 kids in the U.S. is overweight or obese. That's a real problem, and someone needs to do something about it. So I'm getting a good response in spite of the fact that it's not, you know, I don't fit perfectly into the, you know, into the stereotypical tech startup.
Yeah. The other part of it would be market feedback. Our lives are changing. We're in when I was kids, we had lots of orchards around, and we could go outside, and it was a different world where we leave our doors open and our kids can run around and play with each other and our neighbors' kids. Today, that is not the case, at least in Silicon Valley and in San Francisco, right? People keep their kids indoors and want to always be watching them. And so there might be market resistance to an idea like this, wouldn't there be?
Well, you know, I'm not going to be able to change the, you know, a parent's comfort level in letting their kid run around by themselves. I'm trying to work within, you know, what exists in today's society. And you're right, lots of parents want to play with their kids or want to have their kids within eye and earshot when they're playing. My toy is designed to work really nicely with that. Really what I'm doing is I'm giving parents a tool to get their kids to want to get off the couch and run around, in those moments when mom and dad want to take their kid to the park. And this is another reason to want to go do it. We need to keep our Zoomigo happy and healthy. Let's go have some fun with the Zoomigo, as opposed to them having to kick and scream to get their kids out.
Yeah.
It's funny you should say that. One of the things I hear a lot from parents is, when I was a kid, my parents had to yell to get me to come inside. And now that I'm a parent, I have to yell to get my kids to go outside. And so that's the tool set that I'm trying to provide, is help parents, foster that kind of goodness with their kids.
How did your idea change over the 3 months of TechStars?
When I came into TechStars, I was partnered with a software developer, and we knew we wanted to do a location-based game. And a super talented guy, and we talked through a bunch of different ideas. He really wanted to do games for gamers, and I'm not a gamer. And I said, I think we should work on these other things. And after about a week in the program, our partnership was accelerated into oblivion. He went on with World Blender, which is one of the other companies in TechStars, and they're doing great stuff. They're killing it with first-person shooter games for the iPhone. Okay. And I decided to work on this idea. And initially, I was focused on mobile platforms, and I wanted to deliver this thing as a mobile app. For some of the reasons we discussed earlier. Yep. Then I did a bunch of market research, and what it showed is that moms and dads aren't quite ready yet to give their $400 iPhone or Android device over to Junior to run around with at the playground. And so that's how I turned to, okay, well, I guess it's got to be a different form factor. And the virtual pet thing also popped in my research, and that's how I ended up going down this path. Yeah.
You're in a situation which can demonstrate how a company can be changed by the market itself. Because 3 months ago there wasn't a Microsoft Connect. Today there is. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of the arguments that you're putting forward of getting off the couch and exercising, I'm already doing with my Connect. Mm-hmm. Are you looking at Connect and thinking about how to hook a real toy into the Connect system and make a new kind of game that doesn't exist yet?
Yeah, and the thing about Connect is that it's still in front of a TV, and part of the research I did shows that Connect is great. If you're going to have your kid in front of a screen, parents would rather have them using a Connect than just sitting idly doing nothing. But if given the choice of having the kid run around outside, parents would rather do that. And right now there's a vacuum in the market for toys that make kids want to run around outside in new ways using technology. Yeah. So, but yes, beyond this initial plush toy, there's tons of opportunity in mobile applications and in devices that connect to console games, in school curriculum, and programs.
I'm just thinking if you had a real toy,
yeah.
You bring it into the Connect screen,
yes.
and it can recognize, oh, you're holding this toy,
yes.
and we're ready to play the game.
Yes. And based on the fact that you've been running around, the toy has been powered up for the game. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, in fact, it could turn off and say, okay, you've been in front of the screen 20 minutes. Now you need to go back outside and play 20 more minutes.
Charge it back up. Absolutely.
Charge it back up.
So that's, certain parents really respond to that, and I've asked a lot of folks about that. Certain parents are summarily against that whole notion of, making it so that my kid has to run around in order to get the screen time. And other parents are like, yes, I love that. I want that tomorrow. Yeah. 30 minutes of running around for 30 minutes of TV time. That's, Yeah. So there's more work to be done there, but yes, you're thinking good thoughts. And
tell me about trying to find a market, because it sounds like you're doing a lot of research, trying to meet people who would actually buy this thing.
Right.
And like we've already discussed, some people are not going to take to this, and some people are totally going to take to it. What are you finding out there?
What I'm finding is that there's a tremendous response for this issue of getting kids to play more actively. Pediatricians want it, parents want it, teachers want it. There's new research that shows that if kids don't get enough exercise, they don't learn as well. The government wants it. Economists are worried about the cost of healthcare, and even generals are lobbying Congress because they're worried there won't be enough physically fit 18-year-olds to fight in the next war. So there's lots of need out there. The question is, for me right now, is can I create a product that's so much fun that it becomes compelling? And at that point, I think the audience will present itself. It's going to be, there's a consumer opportunity, there's a curricular opportunity with schools, and there's an institutional opportunity with insurance companies who are really getting creative or looking for ways to get creative to keep their client base healthy so that their profits are healthier.
So what's next?
What's next? Probably a mobile app. Even though the commercial viability is dubious, perhaps at this moment in time, I'm confident that in the next couple of years the devices will become inexpensive enough, and there'll be enough old iPhone 3s and old Android devices floating around in in the mudroom that more kids will have access to that for running around with at the playground. I also see it as a great way to rapid prototype game dynamics.
Yeah, very cool. And where do we follow your path, in the future?
Cabinfevertoys.com.
Okay. And are you on Twitter?
Yeah, Cabin Fever Toys.
And are you personally on Twitter?
Adam TR.
Very cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you.